Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Prodigals Build. This is episode 8, and I'm so excited to have our guest speaker with us today. Her name is Rhea Young, and what I want you guys to know about Rhea, from what I have learned about her, is that she's no joke. She actually knows what she's talking about. She's got the receipts to prove what she does, and she's got this awesome background. She went to Florida State University and got a bachelor's degree, I believe, in marketing, and then a master's degree in information studies. She worked with her family on 2 family-owned businesses where she was like the co-manager for 24 years. And so now she's running her own business, a home repair business. She's been running that for 11 years. So I know you're probably thinking, wow, all those credentials, how could I possibly achieve what she's achieved where I am right now? But the beauty is she has taken everything that she's learned, all of those experiences, that degree, that other degree, 24 years of working with her family, and she's put it into a book for us so that we can do it too. So I'm really excited to have Rhea with us today. You're here to tell us more about your book. We'd love to learn just more about you in general, because at Prodigal Sons Academy, we love the idea of watching family members work together to build anything. So, and I see that you did that with your family for 24 years, running 2 successful companies, a daycare and a real estate company. And so I want to hear all about it. I want to hear about some of your success stories so far with being able to help people start this kind of business. So just go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, I have to say thank you, Kimberly, for inviting me on Prodigal Sons Academy. I was so honored and delighted when you sent the email to me. I was like, wow, I'm actually touching and reaching, people with this business. And that's what I wanted to do when I wrote this book. But to piggyback off of what you said, my name is Rhea. I'm from Florida. My family businesses are based in Florida, and that's where I helped run our successful real estate business and daycare center for over 24 years. We helped all types of people, and mainly the area that we were in, we were on the South Side. So we helped a lot of people that were incarcerated. We had the daycare center, and children, some of their parents were in prison. And, our employees, some of them, had also had some troubling backgrounds and were able to get a fresh start with us at our daycare center. So
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit more about what led you from. So are you still working with those 2 companies? Are you still working with the real estate company and the daycare, or are you just now doing the home repair?
No, I've moved on. I've left the nest. So just doing a home repair business now. They taught me well. So I'm out flying on my own now.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. And so you started this 11 years ago. So what made you go this route, like to home repair?
And it's funny that you say that, because I was working at the daycare and I was helping managing our real estate, which included houses and apartments. And one of my cousins came down to visit from Atlanta, and I didn't know this at this time, that he had a home repair business. And I was like, wow, I'd like to do what he's doing one day. And so we started talking, and I told him I was very interested in what he did, and he kind of guided me. And from Florida, I moved to Georgia and started a business. But what's special about this particular cousin is that he had been in prison for over 8 years, and then he was a very successful entrepreneur, actually doing this business right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I did have another cousin. He was in prison, and when he got out, he lived in, I think, what they call like the transitional homes, and he had to have a job. And I didn't know this. And he was like, hey, I need a job. I was like, okay, well, you can come work for me or whatever. And that turned into such a beautiful thing for him, because he worked for me. He got to see the ins and outs of the business. And then he actually went out and started his own company doing home repairs. And then he actually took it from there and specialized in a particular area doing demo work. But he actually started his business also from the opportunity that we had at the time when he was in his transitional home. It depends on what the crime was in order to go into the homes, but sometimes you can, and I hesitate with that because you just really have to be careful with that. So I would advise to, if you're not I know a lot of, I would just say this, a lot of the criminal activity that I know that a lot of people have done in the past in my family, it did not involve where anyone was hurt or abused. Those type of things, you'll kind of be scratched off of that list. Outside of that, you should be okay. And I would always say too, you may have to get a little creative in how you structure your business and set up your business when you start. I don't want to dive into that too much,
Okay.
but there are ways to circumvent that, I would say.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So let me reverse back.
Okay.
And thinking about someone with a criminal background,
Mhm.
25, 26 years old, got felonies on their record, and maybe they do have something on their record that isn't reflected well. As the business owner, though, does
Mhm.
that impact anybody? Does anybody care what the business owner's background is versus the technicians?
No,
That's what I'm.
that they want to know my background. They want to know, of course. Now, let me go back and be a little bit more transparent. So when technicians are going into homes, yes, sometimes they ask, the companies will ask for backgrounds. Most time they won't.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they will. But as the business owner, I have to know what I'm working with. You have to know what you're working with. So it's certain people that we won't send into certain people's homes,
Okay.
especially as women. We have to be a little bit more guarded.
Right.
So if I know something is on somebody's record where it's a little shaky or suspect, then they may not be a good fit for the company.
Mhm.
Where else if somebody has something else on their record that maybe it's okay, I'm comfortable with, then
Mhm.
no problem. But that's up to the owner's discretion if the company does not ask for background checks on those technicians, if that makes sense.
Mhm. So for what I want to understand right now is, what is the structure of the company? Like, what do you do in the company? If we were to try to be in your shoes, what exactly does that look like?
So I would say in the beginning, I was everything except the person doing the repairs. I handled all the back office work. I handled everything with getting new clients, signing up with our clients, making sure that the technicians have all the resources they need to do to complete the job. So I touched on every area as far as payroll, setting up people in the system, as far as making sure they had their checks, making sure everything is scheduled, that's handling logistics. I did it all in the beginning.
Okay, so that's just the setup.
That's the actual setup and running, operating the business also.
Okay, so at this point, though, now you have someone that's covering all of those areas.
You can hire people and you can have tools in place where it's automated.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So you have your work orders that may come in on your cell phone. Well, I get the work orders and my technician gets the orders.
Mhm.
So they know what they have to do, and they'll go do the work and, well, not, let me back up. Before you do the work, you know, they'll go out and inspect it, and then they'll bring the findings back and let us know, or write it up themselves, and we submit that. And once it gets approved, then they'll go get the supplies. I'm just going to take you step by step. They'll go get the supplies. We'll do what's called a phone sale. Home Depot, a call. I'll hit a button saying approved, and then I'll look at my receipt to make sure that only the items there were there that they said that they were buying. Check the receipt, make sure it's correct. They'll go do the work. They'll put it in the system, take pictures, because that's how you get paid. That's the most important thing. And then they'll submit it, and then we'll submit the invoices.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I love what you're doing now. You use an app, you said? You have
Yes.
your
So
own app, or is this like a different kind? What app is it?
Nah, and I thought about that, making an app, but no, it's actually from the one of the companies that we that's our client. They'll, a lot of the companies, they'll actually have their own apps that they'll give you, but it is another one that I use. Let me tell you, it's another nugget. Dispatch Me.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Dispatch Me. So say you find work at a subdivision and they don't have an app for you to use, you can go and track all of your work and put all your jobs in this app called Dispatch Me.
Okay.
You can manage everything and send that to your technicians so they'll know the job, and then it'll also send your customer like notifications like, hey, this is your appointment time and date, this is what we're coming out for. And there's a place you can put a picture of the technician that's coming out.
Oh,
So
wow.
I like the driver's license picture of some of my technicians, so the customer will know who's coming into their home. And also it'll actually pinpoint the location of the technician, so the resident, I think the resident can see it too, but I definitely can see where they are. Now, I'm not saying this is how it is in the beginning, because you have to set up your systems and your processes, and, you know, find out what works best for you, and then, you know, go from there. Laying the foundation is very important.
So just going back, you mentioned technicians.
Mhm.
Where do the technicians come from? How did you, when you started out, how many did you have? How did you get them?
Mhm. So when I started out, I had one technician, and I also had, like I said, my cousin was in the business, so he kind of referred somebody to me. And then from there, that one technician referred other technicians to me. And now what we do too is also utilize the internet, because say that strategy may not work for you. So we utilize the internet, and I'll give you one freebie here. Apartment complexes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
So
how do you do that? What you mean?
so you ain't go talk to the supervisors of the apartment complex. So what do the maintenance supervisors? Because
Okay,
what do maintenance supervisors? They do a little bit of pretty much everything. So
true.
that's one nugget there. You know, you can go to these apartment complexes and just, you know, walk around, find the maintenance supervisor, and sometimes they'll want work, you know, on the weekends, or if not, they're a good resource. They may know other people, and if they're at the apartment complex, they usually had a background check, um, you know, and they pretty much know what they're doing as far as skill wise. We
Mhm.
assume, with them being the maintenance supervisor.
You would hope so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That is a good tip. That's a really good
yeah,
tip to
yeah.
recruit one of them.
But
Okay.
that's something, you know, you was like, okay, it's right in my face, but you know, you wouldn't think
Think
of it,
about it.
you know. Yeah, you have to get creative with this business.
Okay. All
hmm
right. And so you two would get together and negotiate the pay based on jobs, or how do you pay them? Is it hourly or?
Basically, your client is dictating your price because they're giving you the work, and they're giving you volumes of work. So it may not be what you would typically get on the job, but instead of them sending you, instead of you going out and having to look for jobs, they're actually sending you, work 5, 10, whatever jobs a week, whatever you can handle. It's consistent
Right.
work. Mm-hmm. So
Right.
I've had 1, 2, 3 technicians with me for 7 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because I pay them. If you call them today, they know they're getting paid before Rhea does. Because I understand that they are the business. I can't fix a toilet or drywall. I don't know how. So they are the business.
And
So
then
I well.
you on the other hand, they need you to find the work.
I find the work. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I make sure they get paid.
Right.
But I find the work.
And how are you finding the work?
Hi, I know that you're enjoying the podcast so far, and thank you for tuning in. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Johnson. I am your host and CEO of Prodigal Sons Academy, where we help men become financially independent after incarceration. We also provide services for their greatest supporters, their mothers, wives, aunts, girlfriends, and sisters. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn more about us, you can visit our website at prodigalsonsacademy.com. Please like, share, and subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs encouragement and inspiration. Now back to the podcast.
Well, that's one thing. And we show you several different ways in the book. We have some Fortune 500 companies that we'll be sharing with people on Zoom calls, because it's just something that you can't Google. Honestly, you just can't. If you could, every handyman would be doing it. It's just something that it's not just spoke about so much, just unlike, I'm just going to Miss Shirley house to do a repair or whatever. A lot of these companies, they aren't advertising like, come work for us. So this was something that once we got into the business, we were with one company. This was like 11 years ago. And then they actually told us about another company. And these are a couple of Fortune 500 companies. But another nugget on how we find work, in which anybody could do, you have subdivisions, right? A lot of them have homeowners associations, right? So you go talk to the president, find out who that president is of the homeowners association. And a lot of these homeowners associations are businesses. So they're set up and registered with their Secretary of State or Department of State, and get the president's information and then go offer them a service. Because what do we do when we need repairs? You're going to ask somebody, you're going to ask your neighbor, who did you use or who did you use, before you go on your, and it's called Angie's now. Used to be Angie's List, places like that. You want to get somebody that is reputable, or that somebody else has used that So that's one nugget on how to get customers and how to get a good customer. Even though that's on the residential side, it's still kind of business deal if you're dealing with the homeowners association. Right. And then I give you another one, apartment complexes. A lot of you go to the leasing office, you talk to the manager, and a lot of them have work that they need to be done, like term work. And that's actually in the book. That's one of them that we listed. So when people are moving out of apartments, they have to get these apartments ready for the next person. So that's work that you could be going in and doing. So those are two. Those are two right there.
So when you were starting out, because my first thing that comes to my mind, because I'm not a good salesperson, and I'm like always thinking, oh, they're gonna say this, oh, they're gonna say that. So was anybody like, why would I go with you? You just starting out versus going with so-and-so.
They didn't know I was just starting out.
Right. I guess you don't have to tell them that, do you?
No. Have you ever done anything around your house or had to call anybody to do repairs around your house or anything? Yeah, you've been doing this for a while. You
Right.
know, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. And I'm not making light of it, but that's just, what it is.
True. It's true. And then you have the experience of your technicians
That's what
too.
you,
They've been
Mhm.
doing this for 20 years, therefore, y'all been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, yes, you have. You
Yeah,
really have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a marriage. You need them and they need you.
Yep, yep. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours. So
Yeah, because that's just like the technicians going into somebody's house and then somebody saying, "Oh, well, how long have you been in business?" They're going to say, "What, 11 years."
you're right. You are so right. That makes so much. Okay. All right. So let me go back to startup costs. Like,
Okay.
what are some of the major things that you want to have as far as capital to start this kind of business?
From a business aspect, yes. Payroll.
Okay. Payroll. Okay.
That's the main thing. That's what's going to keep your business going. So, and I say payroll because a lot of these companies work where they don't pay you, say, the next day. It may be 2 weeks to a month that you're waiting for your check to come in so you could pay everybody. So you have to have some monies set aside.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. And then also being able to pay for supplies and that kind of stuff for the repairs.
Yes, that's where it's important to have good credit or some type of credit, because what I did personally, I set up accounts with your big box stores, your Home Depots, your Lowe's, and that's how you're able to float that
Yeah.
bill until your money comes in to pay it.
Okay. That
Mhm.
makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes
Now that's if you just have cash like that and you starting out, yeah, by all means. But we have to do what we have to do.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So you would need to register your business, of course. Do you
Mhm.
need insurance for your workers?
So it depends on your clients, what your clients ask for. It's not, now I can only tell you what some of the practices that I've seen. Yeah, so you do need more than likely you need $1 million of general liability insurance. So for $1 million worth of, I pay maybe about 90 to $100 a month.
That's all.
Mhm. For general liability.
And
Mhm.
that covers anything that could go wrong.
In the house, that say my technician messes up a wall or
Mhm.
blows out a pipe or something like that, and there's a flood in the house, whatever, that will cover that.
That covers, is that $90 per technician, or how does that?
No, that's for my company's insurance per month. Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
What about vehicles? They're using their own vehicles?
They use their own vehicles, their own tools.
Okay.
You don't supply any of that. You may have to buy a paintbrush or something here or there, but they have to have their own tools, their own supplies. And I was being nice and I supplied company t-shirts for the technicians, but I know a lot of businesses that make the technicians purchase their own like uniforms. Um, I would say people would challenge, I guess I don't want to say authority because I'm not like I think I'm pretty easy to get along with, but sometimes the men would challenge me, on, I guess, like what they were doing, and maybe it came across in the beginning like I didn't know. So I would have to get my brothers or whatever on the phone and like, hey, we run this business, and they would actually talk to them, the guys, And, come some, I don't know everything, but I know when something's not going right. You having to go back to the house 2 and 3 times to fix something under a sink. No, that's not right. Maybe you don't know what you're doing. So you have to be mindful of things like that too. People trying to take advantage of you. So that's one tip, ladies. If you have a male or somebody you can have on the phone, even if they don't know anything about the business or anything, just to be present and to, maybe just ask a few general questions or whatever, that'll help you out too in the long run. I didn't digress off that, but
No, that's good. That's a good tip for the women. Because, Prodigal Sons Academy, we really do try to help support who I call WAGs, the mothers, wives, aunts, girlfriends, and sisters of loved ones who are incarcerated. Maybe they'll be leading
right
business. Maybe while their loved ones are incarcerated, they start something like this. So any tip from us is wonderful. We'll take all of it.
Okay, good.
Tell us how to get to the book. Like, how do we find the book and get started?
Okay, so I sent you a link and it will be in the description. I just don't have it in front of me right now, that long link.
All right. No, that's good. It'll be definitely in the description. It'll be
description. Okay,
so
awesome.
That's how we'll get to it. Okay.
Okay, and I'm on Instagram, and my handle is The Real Deal. That's DARHEAL Deal, DEAL. The Real Deal. Yeah. And I wanted to surprise you and tell you that for your subscribers and your listeners that we're giving a discount on the book. If they purchase the book for the rest of this month, they'll get the book for $99. We're $150 now, and it's a short book, but it's how to make 6 figures. So you'll get your money back.
You will.
Even off of one or couple of jobs, that'll be paying for the price of the book. And but if they need to use the code PSA.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That's so nice.
And that was even before me and you had a conversation on the last couple of those last emails.
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful blessing.
And I have to tell you all are very, very fortunate and blessed to have Miss Kimberly. She is a sweet and lovely person. Just met her, but I feel like I've been knowing her forever.
Oh, thank you so much.
And she definitely has to have me come back on.
I would love to have you come back on.
I bring my the co-author of the book, Andre. That's the gentleman that I've been speaking of, my cousin that was incarcerated.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Started.
really want to have him on.
Yeah.
I would love to hear his story, his journey, his successes. I mean, we love to see people do what we did, be where we were and get where we are now. Like, to have that testimony is wonderful. I would love.
Right. Yeah. And I can't say it enough. This is awesome what you're doing here. When you sent the email, I was in. I was day one. When you sent me the little synopsis, I was like, okay. Yeah.
Trying our best to help people. I mean, I just know how hard it is, and I know that there's a better way to do it than applications and having people tell you no.
Right. And then, for the families also, I've seen it firsthand, working in the daycares and how this impacts families, for generations and generations. And a lot of it's, the men and women, they get out of jail, and they can't find work, and it just becomes, an uphill battle. It's like society is still making them pay for, what they previously paid for. They pay their debt to society, and then they get out. It's like you got to pay again. Yeah. So I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here to help.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I know that you have a great heart, and I know that you're able to pass on just some wonderful information to people, and you've made it so concise. I think you said it's like 30 something pages in there. So we can get in there and get to work, and
And that was the
hold our
thing.
hand. We got
Yes.
4 calls that
Four
comes with it.
calls. Yes.
So it's basically all wrapped into one. You have no reason not to be successful in this business.
Right. Yeah, like I said, it's not rocket science. You just have to go out there and do the steps, do baby steps every day. At least do something. Start register your business, get your EIN, start talking to people, which I know we don't like to do a lot. You know, start making some phone calls to realtors, to the daycare centers, your churches. I've given you the apartment complexes, the subdivisions, you know. So you can do it,
Mhm.
and you'll be turning work down. You can do it because you only can do so much.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's a great problem to have. So
Yeah.
yeah. How important is a team to you? Because I love the idea of working with at least 2 or more people on anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love having a team. You know, piggyback off of each other. You just can't do it by yourself.
Right.
You can't. I wouldn't be here if I had to do this by myself. You know, and bonuses are very important too.
Oh,
Your team they love bonuses. Yeah. And that's not, I'll just tell you one more thing too. I know you didn't ask, but another thing is, like, I'll piggyback from when I was saying that I treat my handyman, I pay them well, you know. Well, people like to eat too. So we have quarterly meetings and I'll take them out to eat. You know, and we'll talk. That's business. You can write it off on your taxes. But I take them out to breakfast, or, you know, go out to Outback, you know.
mhm.
People I love to eat, you know. So
Yes.
so I'm just saying, you know, treat your team well. You know, that goes a long way. Something so simple. But you know, they remember you, what you did for them. They remember that you didn't have to do it, you know, and you know, you're gonna take care of them. You know, these are things that we know, but not things that we necessarily think of to do, or we may not. We may dismiss it. Oh, they don't want to go to Waffle House or whatever. They do,
Right.
especially if they don't have to pay.
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
Yeah,
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 no, that's always a selling point. Any job, I mean,
yeah,
think about jobs that you've had and the things that you appreciated that
yeah,
your boss did. Now that's you. You're the
yeah.
boss now. You got to do some of those things.
Yeah, I was happy for a donut and some tea and coffee. When you know, I was like, whoa, we had donuts this morning, bagels. That changed the whole trajectory of my day.
I
You know,
know.
too, you know, like you said, it's just so much that people can do, especially now. If you are incarcerated and you're just starting over, as opposed to, say, even 10 years ago, with just so much on the internet, you know, so much technology out here, you know, you can sit at home, you know, like I do, and run a business.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when did the Zoom call start? Just so I can know that part of it.
The Zoom calls, if you buy the book, you'll receive an email, and the first Zoom call is December 19th at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. So it's not like read the book first and then get with us. It's like they're just
Well, for the people that already have the book, they'll be on that call live. But if not, then the people who buy it after, you'll receive the recorded videos.
oh, I see. Okay. So
Mhm.
it basically is a course within itself. Kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, it is. We're giving a lot. We're giving a
Okay.
lot. And you know, because we want to see people succeed. You
Yeah.
know, it's time. It's time for us to uh be in competition, which we
Mhm.
are. But yeah, anyone who knows something, I feel, should share it. And I'm kind of like JT with this. You know, the only reason I'm charging you is because I had to put my time and effort in writing this book. You know, but other than that, you know, we're open book, you know, and that's just how I was raised. Being in my family's business too, you know, we help my stepmom help tons of people get into um daycare or shared real estate, shared with them about real estate and what she was doing, and we were always taught that it's enough for everybody, kind of going off what you said, it's abundance here,
Mhm.
God, he supplies what we need, and it's an abundance.
It's an
So
abundance.
it's whatever you want to do, it's in abundance. You just have to go get it.
Yeah, go get it. That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. Just go get
Go
it.
get it. Yeah, exactly.
So, oh, thank you so much, Rhea. You've shared a lot. I love your heart. I love your tenacity and just your giving spirit.
Okay, thank you. And I look forward to being back on now.
Oh, yes, we'll definitely have you back on. And Andre, I would love to have
Yes,
both of you come.
I'll bring Andre back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely back. Definitely looking forward to it.
We're going to check out your book. And thank you so much for the $99 sale
Yeah.
price for our viewers. You said through December?
Through December. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you guys hurry up. Hurry up. Click the link below.
PSA, put the code PSA.
Yes, PSA is the code. So just so that you put that in there. But thank you so much. Everybody, please like and subscribe, comment, share this video with anyone who's looking to start a business, because I think this one is really good. I don't see why it would not work, and it's so affordable. Plus, you get the calls.
Mm-hmm. Right.
$100.
Yeah.
These days, you see courses for like $1,500 or more, and it's complicated too.
Yeah.
You got a simple book to read, and you got hand holding. So no reason not to buy this book and get started. So, but thank you so much, Rhea.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you, and we will see you again. And you guys visit us. Like I said, this is episode 8. We'll be doing episode 9 soon. So make sure that you subscribe so that you get a notification, so that you can watch our next video. We're always looking to help people make money. That's what we do. All right. Thanks, Rhea.